All right, everybody, welcome back to the third and final part of this tutorial series. The first video was how to take your car template, get it into Photoshop, how to then manipulate the colors, how to extract the car patterns to where you can play around with the colors and get it over into trading paints. The second one, we added in the custom numbers, we added in some more stickers and how to upload that version to trading paints. Now, the third and final one, this is where we're going to take this paint scheme to a completely new level. This is where we're going to play around with spec maps. As you can see, I've went ahead and added more stickers to the car. Added a lot more to it, actually. That way it looks like a proper race car. And if you look, let's go over here to Photoshop. I've got a lot of sticker layers now. So there's a few things we have to do in order to work with our spec maps. First things first, turn on your spec map, and you have three different channels here. You have red channel metallic, green channel roughness, and blue channel clear coat. These are the channels that you're going to manipulate and be able to come up with some really, really cool effects, metallic finishes, chrome finishes, glossy finishes, matte finishes, etc. So first thing we want to do here, make sure that our color selector is set to black. We got our paint bucket ready to go. Okay. So open up your red channel metallic. There's not really much here right now. We're going to change that. Click on your base paint. Remember what we did at the very beginning of the first video where we took the three layers out of the channels of the car pattern and we pulled those out, separated them out into their own layers so that we could then use them. We're going to do almost the exact same thing here now. Create three new layers. Now go all the way down here, figure out what order your colors are in. So it's pink, teal, and then black. From bottom to top. So pink, teal, black. We're not going to worry about the decals and stuff just yet. We're going to go one step at a time here. So now we want just the pink selection that was there to be in its own unique layer here within the spec map. So you're going to hold Control and click on the square here next to where the word pink is. Click. There is all your pink again. Make sure you're on the pink layer here. Paint bucket is selected. And click. Control D to deselect. Go back down. We're going to do the same thing now with the teal. Go to your teal layer. Click. Deselect. Click your black. Go back up here to black. And select. And deselect. All right. So now you have these three layers. Now what we want to do is we want them to also be the exact same layers in both the roughness and the clear coat channels. So go ahead and take all three of these, select them all, hit duplicate layers, hit OK. Drag it down and put it above your base paint in the roughness channel. Duplicate layers one more time. Take it, put it above your base paint in the blue channel. So now you have those three selections in each segment. Now let's grab a website. I want to show you a website here. I will link to this website down in the description below. This is something that I saw on the iRacing forums. I feel that this is a tremendous help. If you are new to spec maps, you're not sure how to play around with these, how to get the right finishes. You can play around manually here. Like you can just move your sliders around, see where things go, or you can use a preset. You want a matte finish? Click on it. It moves the numbers for you. It tells you your numbers that you're going to need to fill in here in just a moment. Chrome, same thing. All right, cool. So let's actually move that. I'm going to move that off over to the side here. So that way I'm going to be able to see it off to the side. You won't see it on screen here, but I'll tell you what I'm seeing. So first things first, I want, see how the car here is all one consistent shininess. It's the same shininess across everything. The colors, the stickers, everything. I want the black to be a matte black. And if I go over to my little helper here, it says that my numbers here are 0, 50, and 0. So what does that mean? Double click in your first one here in the metallic and the black. You're going to go color overlay, color. Make sure that you have your color selected all the way down. That way your bar here is white to black. It's a grayscale. And see how this B here is 100? When I move this down, you're on a 0 to 100 scale. So on this one for matte, I want my metallic layer to be 0. I want my roughness layer to be 50. Oh, hey, something's happening here. Back to the black, color overlay, and back to 0. Okay, so that's that. Now, remember what we did with our action button earlier? And we created our hotkey? We're going to do the same thing. We're going to create a separate one for the spec map. I'm just going to call that spec. And this time I'm going to go F3 and shift. Record. Remember our steps from before. Save a copy. Go to your documents, iRacing, paint, find the car that you're working on, late model 2023. This one, we need to, first of all, it is going to be a Targa. See our naming convention here? This one's going to be a little different. It's going to be car underscore spec underscore. And now your iRacing number. Pay attention up in the corner here. Watch what happens. I hit enter. I hit enter. First of all, 2 new files just showed up down here in this folder. Not just one. And the black changed. Make sure you hit your stop button on your recording. Minimize that. Let's take a look at what we just did. There we go. How do you see how the black is a matte black? Not the entire car, just the black. And now here's where you start having some fun. I want the teal to be metallic. I go over to metallic and I'm showing that my ratios are 90, 40, and 0. $90, $40, and 0. All right, remember our hotkey. Now for the spec map, this is now Shift F3, not Shift F2. Now do you see how our blue just changed to this really cool looking metallic finish? And the black is matte. Now we're starting to get some really cool effects going here, but you're starting to see we've got a problem. These are starting to run through our stickers. So our stickers are overlapping where we're adjusting the spec map. We're going to fix that in a moment. Let's figure out what I want to do with the pink. How about pink? I want... How about the pink? I want chrome. So in this case now, my ratios are 100, 0, 0. Go to your pink, double click, color overlay. Metallic is 100. 0. Now, the one that's interesting is this is a very recent update. iRacing just actually enabled this blue channel. This used to not affect anything. It now does. So this you may need to play around with, because I'm honestly not sure if this program has been updated to accommodate for the Chrome. So you might need to play around with this a little bit. Just keep that in mind. If it doesn't quite look right, play around with that last one in the blue channel. That is your clear coat. So because it's so new, there are some things where the painters like me are still learning how to interact with that layer. But let's go ahead here one more time. It's saying for Chrome is 0, color overlay, 0. Let's go Shift F3 one more time. Now let's see what the pink just did. Oh, the pink changed. It now looks more like a purple. And now if you don't like that, if you don't like how it is adjusted, the color, how it's kind of, it's gone from a really high, hot pink down to more of like a violet almost tone, you can just turn your spec map off for a moment, go down to it, and you can just adjust the color here a little bit. Now, I think this is about where as good as we're going to get here. That's okay. I don't mind this. But if you don't, if you don't like how the color has changed by adding an effect to it, you can adjust the color there. Like, for example, if you want the blue to be a different type of blue now, you don't like how it's kind of changed now that it has the metallic finish, you can adjust that accordingly. Now, what do we do about our stickers? This is, it's not a difficult process, but this can be probably one of the more time-consuming parts of, this is kind of finishing off the cherry on top for your spec maps. So go here to where you had your levels. Let's start here in the metallic. And I'm going to actually add 2 here. One is going to be called decals. And number center. So decals, this is going to be all of our stickers. Back into your spec map, go to your decals. And you need to start clicking on all of, just like how we selected the individual layers and channels earlier with holding control, we have multiple that we're going to be selecting now. So now we're going to go Control Shift. So first thing we want to grab is our headlight sticker. So Control Shift, click the square there for decal 8. Minimize. Now you need to start working up. This may take a moment. So I'll probably fast forward through this, but I'll start off and then you'll see what I'm doing. Control Shift, click, 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 click. There we go. So now everything, all of our stickers are now selected here. Let's go back up. We got our paint bucket in black. We're on the decal layer. Click. You see how that just made made some changes there. Go ahead and hit Control D to deselect everything, because now all we have to do is duplicate that layer. We'll do just like we did before. Duplicate that layer, put it above the black. Do it one more time, duplicate, put it above the black in each one. You want to make sure that your layers are stacked correctly, because otherwise this won't appear right. Now for our decals, I want the decals to be like a satin finish. I feel like satin's probably the best way to go on that. And so this one, I am going to actually play around. I actually don't think that the car viewer on this really makes the clear coat look right. So I'm gonna manually make an adjustment here. Let me show you. So the way that it loaded by default was like this. I actually don't think this is really a satin finish anymore. By them creating this clear coat adjustment now, it's made that look a little different. So we need to go, see how it's changing. I don't think his presets are quite adjusted right. I think we want like a 40 there. Okay. So decals. So it's 0, 20, 40. Decals. Double click. Zero. 20. 40. Now let's see what this looks like. Take a look up here in the corner. You see how our spec map is running through our stickers. Shift F3. Oh, we missed a number. Our driver's number did not get picked up there. Okay, so we got to fix that. Where was our driver's side number? Our driver's side number did not get picked up on that decal layer. Control Shift, 1, 2, 3. I need to go up here, go to your decals. This is just easier at this point to just... And this is how if you add stickers, if you add a few, look and see how it looks. Add a few more, look and see how it looks. Just find those, Control Shift click and go to each layer and you can just fill them in. You can expand on it. There we go. So now this should look right. Shift F3. There we go. All right. So now we've got our matte black, our chrome pink, and our metallic blue. But see how the stickers look like stickers now? They're stickers that are over the top of the metallic paint, basically. This actually does look like now you painted the car in a paint booth and you applied vinyl stickers over the top of it. Now that looks correct. I do want to try just one adjustment here. I want to see on the decals if we adjust the clear coat on this, because this is so new. Let's see how it looks if I change that a little bit. Shift F3. So it makes them a little glossier. So if you want them to be a little bit more like a shinier kind of vinyl, go more like a 20 or 30 on the clear coat. If you want it to be a little bit more of a dull kind of sticker, not as reflective, go like a 40 or 50. But I like that. I like where that's at. That's pretty good. But the one last thing that we had here, if you remember, I created another final one here called number center. Do you remember way back when we did our numbers, how the background layer is the one that we did that I turned the numbers purple? I only want to grab the background ones. So Control Shift, background, 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 background. See how it's not completely filling out the number? Our little traced out section is inside of that. Exactly what we want, because here's what we're going to do. Number center, paint bucket, black, fill. Control D to deselect. Now I can have the middle of the numbers be a different reflective property than the outer part of the numbers. I want these to be chrome. So chrome was 100, I believe it was 00. Yeah, 100, 00. Duplicate the layer. Put one down in your roughness. Duplicate the layer. Put one down in your blue channel. Roughness, we want full 0. Clear coat, we want full 0. Shift F3 one more time. It's a little hard to see this through the UI car viewer. This will show up dramatically different on the racetrack. This will look full reflective chrome. It'll reflect like the outer parts of the wall, the lights going by, things like that. I may try to show, I may put in a little clip of, I was running some laps with the new ARCA car, what's about to be the cool Gen 4 car that we're about to get, where I have this same effect, and I might put a little clip of that in here so that way you can see what that chrome actually looks like on the racetrack. Or I might just take this car out, we'll see. But either way, I'll show you that this does make a difference. It's hard to tell here within the car viewer. I promise you, that is a reflective chrome now on the inner part of the numbers. And if you turn it sideways, you can kind of see how the inner part of the number is a different reflectiveness than the outer part of the number. That is what we want. Now, last thing, how do we get this in Trading Paints? Remember that we added our paint scheme to Trading Paints a little bit ago. Now we need to add the Spec Map. So I'm going to do two things here. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and save this again. We're going to save it as a Targa, because I think this project is honestly done. That is the paint scheme that I want. I don't want to make any more adjustments to it. And turn your Spec Map back on. We'll save a copy. One more time, we're going to do the exact same thing in the exact same place, except obviously I'm going to call it, get to the right folder here. Targa. Just put spec on the end of that name. So now you have your two files that you're going to need, and also make sure that you have done one final Shift F3, so that way your spec is exactly how you want, because that's what's created this MIP file. Now let's go to Trading Paints. Trading Paints. All right. So that was what we created a little bit ago. I've obviously updated it. So I'm going to upload a paint. New late model complete custom numbers. Let's let this upload. Success. All right, there it is. That has no spec map on it. That's going to be all just glossy. We want to add the spec map. Click Add Spec Map. Remember I said there was an MIP file? Now we want the MIP file. Go back to that same folder that we've been putting it in to update the UI viewer. MIP, open. Success, got it. Now when I take this car out on the racetrack and I have Trading Paints running, and I have the option selected where I'm going to see the custom number version, where I've checkmarked the box that says hide car numbers. It's the box that you want to have selected in your graphic settings. We will see exactly what our paint scheme looks like within iRacing on the racetrack anytime you load into a session using this car. All right, guys, there we are. I certainly hope that these steps were able to help you out. I hope that you enjoyed these, and I hope that this gave you some inspiration to get into Photoshop, start creating your own paint schemes. As you can see, that honestly, even with me explaining all this, and I even did a couple of retakes, it still took me less than an hour to create from complete scratch an entirely customized car. You can see it over here on the side, full spec map, full paint, completely customized. Absolutely. It's going to look incredible when you go out on the racetrack. Took me less than an hour. And the more you get practice at it, the faster you're going to be. You're going to start being able to learn techniques and tricks to add more things. You can start playing with custom shapes, things like that. You can make your own. You can download more car patterns from places like SimWrap Market. I personally am not affiliated with them, but I have downloaded several of their patterns from their website. I have purchased them. They work fantastic. So I would definitely encourage look at not only them, but there's others out there as well where you can download patterns. You may have to pay for them, but there's infinite possibilities on cars that you can create here on iRacing. So certainly hope that helped you out. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you have any suggestions, if you have ideas for more things that you want to see me do in the future, let me know. It's great to be back here on YouTube, everybody. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. We're going to try to make some more content here pretty soon, and we'll see you later.